No. That's just a stab in the heart, dude. Playoffs are lost. Just from that alone. Just from that last minute equalizer alone. Playoffs are lost. AFC Wimbledon deserved the win and they don't get it. I'm not going to be salty because it was their own fault, really. I mean, the first goal, fair play. Fucking worldy of a free kick. But it still didn't look like Hartlepool were going to score second. I thought for sure they were going to come like flying in, pressing, making it difficult for us. But Hartlepool, I mean, they played better possession after they scored that first goal. They knocked it around with a bit more. And like I said, they had spells. First 10 minutes of the game, you know, they knocked it around pretty well. They only had one real, like, good chance, though, which was like a chip after Little got dispossessed, a chip from like 30 yards out. Zanev not able to get back, but went over the bar. First 10 minutes of the second half, they played okay to Hartlepool, but they never really looked like they were going to come back into the game. You know, I'm going to start there because that's the thing that's the most fresh on my mind right now. al-Hamadi Little, what the fuck are you doing? Like, obviously, you know, sometimes players get caught ball watching. It happens. But he was a good 3 or 4 yards. His man was goal side of Little. Little was on the other side of him, like 3 or 4 yards on the other side of him. Didn't make any effort to... Obviously, at that point, he had no ability to recover. Pierre maybe could have made an effort to jump for it, but he was marking somebody else. He was marking Umera on the near post. al-Hamadi Little just completely let go of that. I was going to say al-Hamadi Little struggled this game at times. I mean, he didn't play terribly, but every now and again he would give the ball away in the first half. He started to work his way back onto the game, possessing, going forward once in a while. But that was a real let-off. That really was. I mean, wide open on the back post. You can't let that happen at this stage of the game. You know, I'll try to at least talk about the positives because I think AFC Wimbledon they played consistently for the most part. I'm happy with the overall performance. You know, al-Hamadi, he didn't get the ball all too much, but when he did, he was clinical. You know, took a couple touches forward, shrugged off a couple defenders, made a great run, good near post header for the first goal. And the second goal, just, little back heel flick off after receiving it from Chislett. Took a touch to hold it up, flicks it back to Chislett, who took a couple heavy touches toward the top of the 18-yard box, set himself up for a shot. Decent hit. Keeper parries it, not the best parry in the world. And Jaisimi finishes it. I thought Chislett was great. You know, good area. He put himself in good areas. Positionally very sound. Knew when to track back defensively and make a couple challenges. Knew when to go forward. Knew when to drop and play the overlap. I thought he was solid all around Chislett. al-Hamadi, like I said, played well. Jaisimi was quiet at times, but when he did receive the ball, made it difficult for the opposition. You know, beat his man on the 1v1. Quick, tight, good in tight spaces. There was one moment where he received it in the top of the 18-yard box around the 20th minute. Normally, when your first touch is right to your feet, it's not the best thing in the world, but he knew that there was pressure off him. Quick touch, right on his feet, left-footed effort. That was just, I think it was a little bit wide, but yeah, Jaisimi did well until he came off. I think, you know, our attackers played well. Davison winning some knockdowns, making it difficult. Little and Woodyard, a little bit left to be desired. I think Woodyard gave the ball away a couple times in the first 20, 30 minutes, but then he started to really work his way in it, crack some challenges, knock the ball around, keep possession well. But it's just that last goal, man. That last goal, al-Hamadi Little was nowhere near it. And Pierre also, I didn't think had the best game either. Got caught out of position on one instance where there was a cross onto the head of Umera, who headed it wide of the near post with Lee Brown putting the press on there. I think Pierre looked kind of There was a through ball too that got in behind him. That Kalambai was able to partially deflect a shot from the substitute Finney. I thought Kalambai was solid though. Pierce was solid. Unfortunately, that he had to come off because of a knock. And I think that might have made a difference there, Pierce coming off. I think had Pierce stayed on, I think we would have kept at least a 2-1. I think Pierce was solid all around as well. I think really just Pierre and Lil were really the two duds that really made the difference in terms of Hartlepool's comeback. That being said, of course, the foul was committed by Kalambai. That must be said before the goal was scored. The first goal was scored. I mean, it wasn't. You can't really blame him. I mean, that was the one time where Umera got the better of Kalambai. Kalambai tried to stick his foot out and brought him down. But, I mean, Umera did nothing. He did absolutely nothing all game. Kalambai and Pierce were on it. One of their other strikers, Jennings, did well. Like, he dropped deep, played on the overlap, and then, like, took it down the wing a couple of times, forced some crosses. Yeah, I mean, everyone did their part. Gunter did okay. When I say okay, I mean like a 6.5 performance. Little and Pierre were like 5, 4. Everyone else was a solid 8 to 9. I'll go down the list. Zanev, I'd say 7.5. Couple of shanked clearances, but okay. Kalambai was a 9. Pierce was a 9. Brown was an 8.5. I'm going down the list quickly. Jaisimi was an 8.5 from the goal. If he didn't score the goal, maybe an 8. Little was a 5. Woodyard was a 7, I'd say. Chisholm was a 9. Davison was a, I want to say 6 point. I mean, he won some knockdowns, but he was quiet. 6.5 for him. Al-Hamadi was a 9. Pell, when he came on, looked good on the press. Had a shot that went just a little bit wide with his left foot on the volley. Decent effort. 8.5. Pierre, 5. McAteer, 9. Good press for McAteer. Dispossessed him a couple times. Pearson dispossessed him a couple times too. Had some good pace in the wide areas. 8.5. But really, just those 2 5s, man. Those 2 5s really made the difference from Little and not Pierce, Little and Pierre. We'll see though. We'll see how we can. I don't know why the timer was going down the whole time. We'll see what we do going forward, but that's just an absolute let-off. It really is. I mean, 2 points dropped against the Hartlepool side in 23rd. Really good opportunity to really take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I thought AFC Wimbledon played well for the most part. It's just, last. Like I said, I don't think they played poorly after conceding. I still think they controlled the game for the most part. Just last 10 minutes of the game, including stoppage time, invited a teeny bit of pressure, but still preventable on that goal, man. Very preventable. I'm very disappointed with the end result. I think this game really does solidify the idea that we're probably not going to make playoffs. I think we're like a firm mid-table side. I don't want to say for sure. I don't want to will that into existence. I don't want to manifest that into existence because you never know. But I think that game really does solidify it. We are going to be mid-table. I did say we're going to finish 10th earlier in the stream, and I think looks to me like that's the trajectory we're headed at. Could play a 4-4-2 with like Woodyard as the holder, perhaps, and Jaisimi on one side and Pearson on the other side, Chislett as the attacking mid, or Pell as the attacking mid. Pell or Chislett, either or, and then have al-Hamadi and Davison up top. I think we need to switch to a diamond, at least for the short term. I knew it would happen. This is why playoffs are just a dream at the moment. 2-0 up at home to a relegation side. Can't kill the game off. It's like, oh shit, we're in the lead. What the hell do we do now? To be fair, I don't think Wimbledon played like that. I don't think they were like, okay, it looks. I don't think they were like last season under Robbo, where you knew it was going to happen, just based on what you saw on the pitch. I think you knew it would happen because it's just part of the AFC Wimbledon culture, right? Hartlepool, I mean, fair play to them. I think Dobbs looked good on that center attacking mid position. He started off slow, but he really started to go from one side of the pitch to the other, left to right to middle, making it difficult for us to mark him. I think on that left-hand side, Ferguson was, even though he gave the ball away a couple times on the defensive end, I think he put good balls into the box, and that ball for that second goal was an absolute peach of a cross from Ferguson. I got to give credit to him, aside from the poor marking from Little. All right, I'm going to be reading a couple of comments here just to see what the fans are going to say about this one, because I feel like they're going to have a absolute field day with this one. So, first we've got Justin Gallagher. Sorry, but you play negative tactics against a side as poor as them, you get negative results. An attacking formation would have had them out of sight by halftime. If you can't be positive against a team like that at home, then you never will. I thought the substitutions in terms of like for like were understandable. I mean, Pierre came on for an injured Alex Pierce. Pearson came on for Chislett like for like. I do think, maybe I thought Curry for sure would come on potentially for Lee Brown, but you could also argue that, a 5-3-2 is also possible. Hayden blanks. Either Jackson out or he needs to wake up and get a grip. Interesting take there. Weeks on end now, we've had draws a laughable amount of goals. Why does he not start McAteer over Pearson 70 minutes in, and the difference of these two players is large? Now, McAteer, I think you could argue that he could have a place in the starting lineup later down the road. Chislett looked solid today on that left-hand side. Jaisimi is a must-start. Well, maybe not a must-start, but, like, you know, if you want to really create chances out of nothing, he's the one. So yeah, maybe every now and again you can see Jaisimi slotting in and out of the rotation, maybe McAteer. But the way that McAteer played was like an Asal, sort of. Not running around like a headless chicken, but very good press, very lively. When he's on the ball, he releases it quickly. He knows when to release it. I think, you know, he really gives opposition a hard time when he comes off the bench. But I do think McAteer should come on a little earlier, like 55th, 60th minute instead of 70th. I think he should come on pretty much every game. He should at least make an appearance every game. McAteer looks solid. Jackson out is an interesting shout. I don't think he should be out yet, but I think he's had a weird pattern when it comes to substitutions, right? Yeah, I think al-Hamadi should have played a striker, to be honest. He looks okay in the wide area now. I think the first time he played in the wide area, he looked a little lost, but I think he looks a little better now. But he should play striker. I think we need to play a diamond, honestly, 4-4-2, if we were to ostracize Little and have just Woodyard playing on the as a holding mid. If not, the 4-2-3-1 should be fine too. But al-Hamadi shouldn't play in the wide area. I think you should leave that to McAteer or Pearson. So have Jaisimi play on one side, play Pearson on the left, or McAteer, or Chislett. I think al-Hamadi shouldn't play on the wide area. So if we're going to stick to the 4-2-3-1, even though I think al-Hamadi looks great, it's just a matter of formation, how you slot into the formation, how you fit into the formation. But if we do decide to keep al-Hamadi on the pitch, it should be on a 2, and it should be on a diamond, with Woodyard as the holder, and then perhaps Pearson on one side, Jaisimi on the other, and then Chislett or Pell as that attacking mid. Dave Meyerhoff, that result pretty much sums up the season for us, doesn't it? I'm calling it a day on playoff hopes now. I'm also kind of on that same boat. We really need to get focused on signing some permanent fixed players so we actually have something to build on right now. It feels like we're throwing together a makeshift team every transfer window. Will Lewis, an awful result, and even worse, people stood in the south stand. A woman called us cunts for swearing, which is a bit ironic, and her husband felt the need to try to start a fight. In the kindest way possible, if you're coming to the south stand, please join us in the songs and not start fights because of a swear word. We're trying to create an atmosphere. In the last few home games, it's been full of tourists and miserable people. I feel like ever since they put the ban on the fucking, what is it, the We Are Wumbles from the Lane song? Champagne song, rather. And then the Tits one. But yeah, it sucks, I guess, that happened. I'm sorry that happened. The South Stand is all about the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it at that. I'm actually wanting to take a nap right now, so just a couple comments, but the basic sentiment is that we bottled it, and that Jackson, his tactics were a little off. I think should have played a little bit more defensive instead of trying to go for that third goal, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next one.